Hello, my name is Pooja. Welcome to a new episode of Around the World. It is a well-known fact that a military coup has happened in Myanmar in February 2021. As a result, Myanmar's prominent leader Aung San Suu Kyi, along with other major leaders, was arrested and sent to prison. Since the establishment of the junta, the people of Myanmar are facing all kinds of inhuman treatment. Democratic protests and demonstrations are being suppressed, and the citizens of Myanmar are being forcibly imprisoned. Cases of genocide and terror by the army are coming to the fore on a large scale. In this regard, the foreign ministers of the member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, that is ASEAN, met in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. The meeting took place almost 18 months after a peace plan was agreed upon with Myanmar's military rulers. During the meeting, the ways to restart a stalled peace process in military-ruled Myanmar, where violence has killed dozens of people in recent weeks, were discussed. No representative of Myanmar participated in this meeting, which was held at the ASEAN Secretariat located in Jakarta. Actually, ever since the Tatmadaw, that is Myanmar army, seized power by overthrowing the elected government of Nobel laureate and advocate of democracy Aung San Suu Kyi, Myanmar's military generals have been barred from participating in high-level meetings of ASEAN. Significantly, in April 2021, Myanmar's junta government agreed to implement a 5-point peace agreement with ASEAN, the official partner of the peace effort. The 5-point peace agreement is an official diplomatic process between Myanmar and various ASEAN stakeholders. It includes immediate cessation of hostilities, involvement of all parties in constructive dialogue, allowing an ASEAN-appointed envoy to mediate and meet all the stakeholders, and allowing ASEAN to provide humanitarian assistance. The junta government is not ready to implement this 5-point peace agreement, due to which this agreement is on the verge of failure. In this regard, ASEAN is going to hold its annual summit next month. The summit will be attended by many world leaders. Therefore, incidents of genocide in Myanmar and undemocratic activities of the government can tarnish the image of ASEAN countries, as Myanmar is a core member country of it. Although the United Nations has supported the peace plan of ASEAN, the undemocratic and inhumane acts being done by the army in Myanmar on a daily basis cannot be ignored by the international community for long. ASEAN has a policy of non-interference in the sovereign affairs of member states. But some countries believe that ASEAN should take concrete steps to act against Myanmar. In the wake of the general elections to be held in Myanmar in 2023, it is suspected that the junta regime is adopting an undemocratic approach to consolidate power and crush opponents. ASEAN needs to introduce a new strategy to remain credible as a mediator. Current ASEAN President, Cambodia, acknowledged that apart from some limited and conditional humanitarian access, the other 4 provisions of the 5-point peace agreement have not been complied with at all. India and Myanmar share a long border of about 1,643 kilometers. Therefore, India's interests are directly linked with Myanmar. On the other hand, policy of non-intervention and peaceful coexistence form a major part of India's foreign policy. Against this backdrop, the question arises, what has been India's stand so far on the anarchy and violence spread in Myanmar? What measures is India taking to address the refugee problem and national interests? India has been in constant touch with the junta government in view of its domestic interests. In addition, it has also criticized the brutal killing of civilians by Tatmadaw and making hostage the supporters of democracy. The main reason for India's attachment to the military rulers of Myanmar is to ensure the border security of Northeast India, as well as to deal strictly with the insurgent groups in the concerned region. India has also been successful in its goal, as the junta regime has promised not to allow Myanmar to become a safe haven for Indian insurgent groups. The main concern for India is the ever-increasing number of Myanmar refugees seeking shelter in Mizoram. Actually, India's 1643-kilometer border with Myanmar extends from India-Myanmar-China tri-junction in Arunachal Pradesh to the India-Myanmar-Bangladesh tri-junction in Mizoram. Boundary agreements have been signed between India and Myanmar, keeping in mind the ethnic and family ties across the international border. Under the free movement regime, citizens of both countries who live within 16 kilometers of the international border can cross the border with a permit and stay in each other's countries for 2 weeks. The official number of refugees registered in Mizoram from the Kachin State of Myanmar has reached close to 30,000 so far, but several thousand unregistered refugees are residing in Mizoram. The Mizo National Front, the party of Mizoram Chief Minister Zoram Thanga, and the BJP government at the centre are constituents of NDA, that is National Democratic Alliance, but there is an open difference of opinion between the two governments on the issue of refugees. When people from Kachin State started coming to India, then the Ministry of Home Affairs directed the states located in the northeast region, including Mizoram, to take action against illegal infiltration. However, the Zoram Thanga government declared solidarity with the people of Myanmar and continues to welcome refugees. Additional pressure is being felt on the resources of Mizoram due to Zoram Thanga's government support of refugees. However, various NGOs, churches, and youth organizations are also trying to provide humanitarian aid to the refugees. Notably, India is not a signatory to the 1951 United Nations Refugee Convention or its 1962 protocol, nor does it have any domestic policy related to refugees, due to which sometimes differences are witnessed between the centre and the state. Refugees from Myanmar have also created security and resource challenges for India. Refugees living in relief camps and villages can cause serious problems in the future. For instance, Bangladeshi refugees are posing challenges for India from the national security point of view. The Assam Rifles guarding the Indo-Myanmar border has informed the central government about the increasing number of crimes being committed by Myanmar nationals in relation to smuggling and other crimes. And it has also informed that more than 40 citizens of Myanmar have been apprehended by paramilitary forces in the last 7 months. Furthermore, the unrest that emerged after the coup has affected Indian projects in Myanmar, such as the India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway and the ambitious Kaladan multimodal project. These projects are already running far behind their targeted deadline, and now completing these projects on time will be a Herculean task. That's all in today's episode. Let us note down the question based on today's story. Discuss the refugee crisis of Mizoram in the context of India-Myanmar bilateral cooperation.